Hello, it is Friday, February 6th, and I have another Q&A for you guys. I don't have too many questions today, specifically from people, but I got like a overall topic that I'm going to talk about today, and that is mistakes that I see people who mean well make when they're either first starting their fitness program or trying to change their fitness program. But we'll start with questions. So the first question is, what is the difference between a deload week and an off week? What this person is asking is, why do we have to take breaks? Why are some weeks easier? You can't get better every single week forever. A deload week is when you come in and you still come into the gym either the 2 or the 3 or the 4 times a week that you normally come in, but you do about 40 to 60% of what you normally would do, and then choose exercises that are less intense, both in terms of the weight that you use, the heart rate that you get up to, and how it reacts to your central nervous system. So on a deload week, you wouldn't be doing like really, really heavy squats or really, really heavy deadlifts or bench press. You might do some accessory work or do very light movements that are similar. So you still do work those muscles, but you're not always like really hammering your body, and especially your central nervous system. An off week is simply when you just remove entire days from your program for that week. So if you normally come to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, maybe you just go once or twice and do like a very easy, maybe even a little bit shorter total body workout. So that way your body that's like a really recuperative, recovery-based week for you. I will write that into my clients' programs, but usually with the weather or with scheduling, they take vacations, I take vacations. The full off weeks kind of just happen because life gets in the way. But every once in a while, we do have strategic days where we do a lighter, less intense type of workout or week. So that is the difference between a deload and an off week. Next question. So these two are kind of related, so I'm going to say them both and then answer them. I'm struggling to hit my protein goals. Any advice? And how many shakes can I have per day? Where else can I get protein? So, how many shakes can you have a day? 2 to 3. I wouldn't make a habit of doing more than 3. 3 shakes a day for 30 days is what the Consumer Reports article studied when they were looking at heavy metals in protein powder, and some of the brands that they looked at were not very reputable brands anyway, but some of the brands, EAS they looked at, I want to say they looked at Dymatize, and I want to say they looked at Optimum Nutrition, which Optimum Nutrition is one of my top brands for protein powder anyway. They only found heavy metals to really be not even a problem, but a whisper of a problem if you're having 3 protein shakes a day pretty much indefinitely. I think they did a 30-day study though. So don't do more than that. The biggest problem that I see with using protein powders or protein bars or protein chips or protein supplements, anything, is that you're eating protein at the expense of a whole food meal. So limit how much you're having, as long as you know that you're eating like whole foods. If you have to have a day where you have a protein shake in the morning or a protein bar at night or something like that, that's not the biggest deal, as long as you don't make a habit of it and as long as you have a generally healthy diet anyways. Where else to get protein? And I'm struggling to hit my protein goals. Any advice? So what I usually do, just kind of as a rule of thumb, is I tell people to take their protein goal for the day. For guys, might be as high as 200. For most women, it's about 130, generalizing. What I say to do is divide that number by how many meals you plan on having. Some people have the time to have 5 meals. Some people have the time to have just 4 meals. And some people just like to stick with the regular breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So divide the amount of protein that you need in a day throughout those meals, so that way it's not some insurmountable number that you have to eat at the end of the day when you realize, oh my god, I still have to eat 50, 60, 70, 80 grams more protein. That's just not going to happen in one meal. So what I personally do, I aim for anywhere from 120 to 130 grams of protein a day, and I used to have 5 meals a day. Now I really don't have time to do that. Now I have 4. So my protein intake does end up a little bit on the lower side. But so I used to have 27-ish grams of protein at each meal, 5 meals. That way, there wasn't like a crazy amount of food or meat or eggs or fish or whatever it is in one sitting. For example, my breakfast included Greek yogurt a lot. That's very high in protein. Nuts in the Greek yogurt. Nuts in itself isn't too high in protein because you also get the fat and the fat calories and the carbs with that. Lunch would be some type of soup or salad with chicken in it, and 27 grams of protein only takes 4 or 5 ounces of chicken. I can't remember off the top of my head. So it's not like I have to have like a 12-ounce steak all the time, feel like a carnivore to eat my protein powder. But just do simple math, and just as a rule of thumb, don't go any one meal without having any protein, because then you really have to make it up, and you're probably not going to make it up throughout the course of the day. Okay, those are the questions, not very many this week, pretty simple. So now I'm going to talk about errors in fitness training, again, when you either start a new program or want to kind of ramp up or change what you're currently doing. So the first error is for people who are training for endurance, 5K, 10K, Tough Mudder, anything like that, shying away from intensity. So you still need to do interval training, heavy lifting, lighter to moderate lifting. Really, really mix it up, because if you just train that long and slow distance, you are going to get what is called skinny fat and that type of cardio over long distances. And I'm talking about like hours and hours and hours of training in a week, just doing the same slow but steady pace isn't ever going to really spike up your heart rate, so you're not going to get the full benefit of endorphins and human growth hormone and all of that good stuff that happens when you exercise. And it's really hard on your body to just be like slamming your body long, slow intensity like that. Do include those high intensity things. It's not going to make you any slower of a runner to have more muscle, or any slower of a runner to also be good at sprinting. In fact, it's going to make you better in all areas, and it's going to be much better for your body even after your race or after your performance is done with. Error number 2, taking on too much too soon. So sometimes a new person will come in and say, well, how many days a week is ideal to work out? And the answer to every question that I'm finding with these is it depends. So they want to do 3 days a week strength training, and then they want to go out and do 3 days a week of cardio or something light or yoga or whatever on their own. And going from 0 to 6 days a week is a lot. 6 days a week is a lot anyways. And this is an error, taking on too much too soon in terms of fitness, working out, but it's also in terms of dieting. Like, I might suggest that someone trade out their oatmeal in the morning for yogurt, something higher in protein, or for hard-boiled eggs, or if they usually don't put any cheese or eggs or tuna or anything on their salad, that's another way they can get more protein. This is just in my head from the last question. But they want, like, instead of them taking my advice for that one suggestion and trying to implement it slowly and concretely, they want like the perfect diet right away, where they don't even know if they like tuna salad, or they don't even know if they like the recipes that I'm suggesting. So try things out slowly. If you start with a bang, you'll end with a bang. You'll fizzle out pretty quickly. Really make these habits a part of your life. This is kind of answering from a habitual and routine standpoint, but also from the point of your body. You don't want to shock your body with anything too drastic. Typically, the faster you start something, the faster you'll end something, and this is really a lifetime thing, so don't be afraid if you have to commit to it slowly to make sure that commitment is going to stick. Next error, kind of goes into taking on too much too soon. The next error is all or nothing. Once again, if you want to have the perfect leg day, the perfect back day, the perfect shoulder day, the perfect whatever day, and then a snowstorm comes, like happened last week and the week before and this week coming up, it's not like, oh my God, I missed leg day, I can't do back day, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. If you miss a day or two for unforeseen circumstances or circumstances outside of your control, get back in the gym anyway and do what you can where you are. Do a total body workout. Don't focus so much on one muscle group. Kind of balance it out until you can catch back up. That goes for diet too. If you are at a restaurant and you thought they had a meal that would fit into your protein requirements or carb requirements or whatever, and then they don't, or the portion's bigger or the portion's smaller. Don't like let it ruin the rest of your day. I always give the analogy, and I've heard this a bunch on the internet. If you get a flat tire and you pull over, you're not going to get out and stab your other 3 tires. You're going to call for AAA and help immediately and fix that one before it gets any worse. Same kind of concept with dieting. If your 4 tires are your 4 meals in a day, if you mess up on one of them, get back on track right away. That's the best thing you can do. Just be consistent and don't ever try to make up for anything, because then that sends very extreme signals to your body. If you overate for breakfast and then you undereat for lunch, that's not balancing things out. That's messing up 2 meals now. So it's not all or nothing. That's a really big mistake that newbies and experienced people make, and really in all parts of life, not just health and fitness, I feel like. Error number 3, 4, I don't know what number I'm on. You think calories don't count. This is a tricky question. Error. Calories do count, but I tell people not to count calories. From the perspective of what you're eating, yes, calories matter. That's where you're going to get your energy, and you want to make sure that you're eating enough, but not too much. But when you're actually counting and tracking things, it's about so much more than calories. You have to make sure you're eating the right amount of protein, carbs, and fats, and that's what calories are from. If you're eating the right amount of protein, carbs, and fats, then you're eating the right amount of calories. If you eat, the simplest example as I can give is, if you eat 600 calories of M&Ms, you know that that's different than eating 600 calories of something really, really healthy. So that you think calories don't count is just that little example on a grand scale. So don't forget that. And the final error, doing a fitness activity that others want you to do. So if your husband is training for a Tough Mudder and you are like, I don't want to get dirty, I don't want to do that. Or if your best friend is doing spin and you just aren't into that, that's fine. There are so many ways to exercise and get in shape and be healthy that you don't need to do any one way because of the, I don't want to say stigma, but because of the people doing it or the results that those people are getting. You can make it work doing what you want to do, and if you don't want to do it, you're probably not going to stick with it anyways. So that's not the best answer, I'm sorry. But error, doing a fitness activity that others want you to do. This is for you. You are allowed to be selfish when it comes to the hour or so that you spend working out. So you make sure that it's something that you want to do. And I'm going to leave you with that. Have a good day.